good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to today's ALTTPR daily race here on Speed Gaming Prime. We have ourselves an open seed, so we will start without the need to going through the Hyrule Castle, and we have access to the entire world, well, right from the get-go, without doing anything of that sort. Today's runners, we have Technolink, Edium, Gentleman, and JP Noir 1. My name is Professor Render, and joining me is Nitro 6003. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Looking forward to this epic seed here, and hopefully it doesn't end up like I heard last night's was pretty atrocious.
Yep. Today's last night's Mystery Friendly, which happened 11 p.m., ended up being a retro seed alongside Key Sanity, and with your Aga access being on top of the one of the Take Any caves, just directly above Link's house, where your Master Sword was. That's where you had to get into Aga 1 and fight off Aga. Quite the mess that was.
Indeed. And unless you're familiar with entrance, you never check the back of that cave usually.
No. We should be getting started pretty soon here. Just seeing the runners going off behind the scenes here, so we should be catching up pretty soon. And yep, we are underway.
Interesting how every single runner started at Link's house.
Yep, and on our right side, we are seeing palette shuffles going on. We have our map check. I saw Eastern Palace being a regular pendant, alongside Eastern Palace, Tower of Hera being a crystal. I didn't see what the other one was.
I think it was the blue pendant on Desert.
Yep, confirmation that from Technolink that was the blue pendant. So we will have a green pendant in the Dark World and our 2 5/6s in the Dark World as well. Everyone doing the Uncle Star, getting a heart container to start off from the Uncle. So that's nice.
It's always nice to get a little extra health early.
And our first bottle, which has nothing inside it, but we will take that to the sick kid once we are doing our Kakariko loop. And looks like from today's sprites options, we have ourselves Technolink running Dragonite, both Edium and JP Noir running the Fox Link sprite, and Gentleman running as Rick from Rick and Morty.
I love all the custom sprites that have been made for this game. It's just really just so well done.
Yeah, and I love the most recent version of A Link to the Past randomizer, where you can actually choose. You can actually pick your custom sprite from within the menu, within the download of the ROM itself, and it is race legal. So that is really nice. If you really wanted to make your own sprites, but you don't have that, it's not on the website yet. But you can just totally load that in. Your ZSPR file, and you're covered. So we're actually seeing some divergence from our runners here. We're actually seeing JP Noir heading to South Shore, picking up a bug catching net.
The swag net. Now I'm kind of hoping for Aga just so we could see the swag net go off.
I mean, if you really wanted to do the bug net struts in Aga, you could totally do that. But by then, you would probably have a sword or a Master Sword, or like a just sword and a cape to get into Aga 1. And we get a mirror from the Sunken Treasure, so that is a really good way to start things off. So actually going to save and quit now because we don't have bombs. We cannot do the Mini Moldorm Cave just yet.
No, you gotta get some bombs. But it is really nice to find the mirror early, just to save some time.
Yeah, and it does. It will let JP mirror directly from his starting position and lead to the front of Sanctuary if you were to start from Sanctuary, because it does count as if you entered Sanctuary from the entrance and not just through the back through escape.
Well, there is bombs in Blind Hut, and then there was Hammer over in the drop down, so in the well. So getting some early information here.
Plus our Ether Medallion.
So get half a piece of heart, quarter piece rather.
They're the same thing.
Ooh, like to get half magic early. That's really nice.
I will never pass up half magic unless it's way out of the way. If I ever get a chance to see half magic is so early on, I would definitely go for it.
Yeah.
So that should round out our Kakariko checks with the 10 arrows on the chicken hut. And the benefit of course, having with the mirror for JP's side is that he's able to delete the blocks doing the mirror block glitch. That if you keep spamming the mirror button, it just somehow it deletes the block that is in front of you as you're pushing it.
And that's where you can also they had it for the dam. You can save the screen transition there too.
Yeah, it'll be nice if we do see Swamp Palace as a crystal, so you get to see that in motion.
Oh, you have a pretty good shot. It's one out of the 7, and then there will be a pendant. So, good shot. We're gonna have to potentially go there. And we're only one item away from Dark World access. We just need that mitt to lift up the block. We already have Hammer and Moon Pearl. So, just where's that mitt? And race game, just 10 arrows. We'll leave that there for all eternity. We'll see where Jed goes now. Since he does have bombs and he doesn't have the mirror yet, since he hasn't done South Shore, he will get his mirror. And I'm going to almost bet he will go to Mini Moldorm Cave following it.
Now, the unfortunate thing about this is that we don't have a sword, so we can't use our Ether Medallion just yet. Now, if we were playing on swordless, then we would be able to use that because we have our hammer. And I bring this up in part because the Ether Medallion will be able to quickly kill the Mini Moldorms in Mini Moldorm Cave if you were to use them against them.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, not that the hammer isn't a great thing, but it's just how good you are with the hammer against the Mini Moldorms. But
generally, the hammer for the hitbox for the hammer is fairly small. It's also pretty inconsistent from facing up or down versus left to right. Jetto Man doing what I I prefer to do whenever I'm doing with bombs in Mini Moldorm Cave, cooking the bombs, and we get some boots from the NPC.
We can go fast.
And we're also able to set up a water walk.
Technolink heading to the escape sequence. See what's in Zelda's cell. And without the mirror, he cannot just mirror back to the start. So he will have to either Death Warp if he chooses to do the back, or he'll have to save and quit. And there's our mitt. So he has Dark World access at 7 minutes and 57 seconds.
That would be our close, tactically speaking, but because Mitz is the second one up, but we're close enough. Edium is heading over to the Agina's cave, taking it directly over to the Desert of Mystery. JP will get the boots. Like Gentleman opted to save and quit. I do not know the reason why for that. Why he would save and quit though.
Your guess is as good as mine on that one.
So here's the example that you were talking about with the fact that we are with mirror versus no mirror for this front of escape. Gentleman will be going into escape with just the mirror. Technically opted to save and quit after Zelda Cell. I would not blame him in this situation because currently we do not have a fire source, and doing the escape or the Dark Cross with just a hammer and no lamp is not fun at all.
No. And it's even worse in Randomizer.
Yeah, with Randomizer, it's just even worse. So Technolink will be the first player into the Dark World. We're going to start with our Hype Cave check, but first we have our Dark World map check, Green Pendants on Turtle Rock, and Skull Woods and Misery Mire being our 5/6s.
Second bottle in the waterfall fairy there.
And it's filled with a blue potion, which is really nice.
And other than Sandcart, just garbage in Hype Cave.
Yeah, just your box standard Hype Cave. And I say Hype Cave very, very loosely, but Sanctuary Heart is nice, I guess, but it's pretty early in the game, so if I saw that and it was like about 10 minutes in, I was just be like, oh, yeah, that's not worth, that's pretty bad. Gentleman is actually heading over to the Dark Cross, actually going to commit to this Dark Cross.
Well, he's definitely better than I. I would not be trying this for sure.
Now, I would do something similar like this too. However, I would be better off with a sword over anything else, though. Seems like there was nothing on the pyramid ledge.
And Techno's going all the way up to Catfish too.
Now, this isn't a bad option if you really wanted to do this. Some runners will like to get Catfish out of the way, like just immediately, because we know that Catfish can and will possibly have something that could screw over the runners if it was like a pretty close race. I have seen numerous races where the Catfish had decided one race just because one had done it earlier and the other one had opted to last location it.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that people have been going to Catfish. Oh, and the waterfall fairy gives you a green potion for free. That's not bad information to have for future reference.
It's a lot better than bees because they're probably one of the most useless items in the game, outside of the good bee if you know how to sell them. But I still release good bees either way, so whatever.
Looks like Technolink's going to check the back of Escape now.
Yeah, we saw this earlier. Looks like from, I believe, Gentleman. I believe, though, we didn't see anything from there. Yeah, it's just it was our heart piece, and because of the fact that the Dark Cross gave us an item afterwards, we knew that if you were keeping track, we would know that there would only be one item in the back, and you would have your key and map right next to it. Shadow is going to head up the mountain. Now, this isn't a bad option. Again, if you're well versed in dark rooms, then this would not be a problem for you at all. I actually was able to get through this with just our hammer, right just from the off, because it was something that I had to keep in mind if I didn't have a sword. If typically when I see one F in the second room towards the old man cave, I knew it fell. Or I mean, I would already know because I would hear the sound. I would hear the sound, but it seems like Jetto is having a little bit of trouble doing this.
Ooh, we have a third bottle with a fairy in it in Sahasha's closet. And Chrono Time making a good point. Technolink is not going to South Shore, so he is at the moment mirrorless.
Yeah, and this is something. This could be a problem if Technolink does not head back. There's no way you could route in. You can't route in your South Shore checks alongside your Dark World checks because of the fact that because of that mirror being right on the sunken treasure, the second item out of the dam, and there's our sword. Now, if I was playing Overworld Glitches right now, I would totally be boots clip or doing a down teleport on this. But this is just a regular no glitches open seed, so just we gotta stay within bounds here, and we have to use our mirror.
So we'll see what Tower of Hera has for us. Looks like some money on the first check. And like I said, having the mirror just saves so much time. You just really don't even realize how much time you can save with that mirror.
Yeah, that mirror is probably one of the biggest time saves you could possibly have. And because of that 300 rupees that we found in Hera, we know that there's only one item left. And we also know that since we did get our key, we are fire locked. So we're gonna have to come back for that later. Gentleman showing us a bit of game knowledge here by bunking those pair of bonk rocks. You will find a fairy there 100% of the time. And there's our second sword in the Easter Palace big chest.
Yep. So we know where 2 of the 4 swords are already.
And so far, the swords are not in bad spots.
No. We have a shovel and a Hulk shot. Money and a heart piece. So, I'm sure he will do. Oh, is he going to hover? Oh, yeah. Jet's hovering. I wish I knew how to do that.
Hovering is something I can do. I'm just super inconsistent with it. I've hovered Moldarm 2 in practice, but I've never applied it to anything because I just cannot get the timing down.
Well, I will give you the utmost credit because for me, I wouldn't even touch it.
We did also keep. I think we also from our chat is saying that I believe Technolink got the mitts out of Skull Woods along with all of our items in Skull Woods.
So he just needs a fire rod to finish it, and for him a sword or a lamp.
Gentleman, while we were just talking about it, we talked about Technolink. We ended up there was a Hera pot that was pulled out by Jetto Man. It's one of the more it's a pretty old trick at this point. It's about a year old. It's still recent, but it's about a year old now. You can get yourself you can clip into the long falling pot that takes you from the top to the bottom. Ooh, that's a pretty nasty way to start the Moldarm fight. just by doing either two different methods. There's two different methods. What you're trying to do is essentially get yourself into one pixel into the pot, enough for you to hook shot towards it, and then fall in. Fall in just by doing a specific left then up input.
And I believe, if I saw that correctly, the first chest in pod was the ice rod, so no ice rod hunt today. And at 19 minutes, Jedman is our first to strike first with the 7 crystals.
First blood. And I will say this, though, I mean, with our Ice Palace, Ice Rod, it might not be important because of considering the fact that we have Turtle Rock as our green pendant.
Right, and the problem is you need so much items in Turtle Rock that the chances of it being a pet seed when Turtle Rock is a pendant is even slimmer than normal, because the amount of items needed to complete Turtle Rock is so high.
I don't know if that is facts or not. I would have to just run a bunch of seeds to actually definitively test that. Technolink, on the other hand, try to hit a Zizak with the hammer, but just takes the fall for it.
Well, since you have a lot more of the game rolling knowledge than I do, I will take your word for that one. But I would have thought in just theory that, since Turtle Rock has so many items required, it just makes it even harder for it to be a pet seed in general, because all the items that usually could hide there are needed, or for the most part.
Techno just is not having a good day right now, so Techno is just going to opt to leave Turtle Thieves Town for now and head over to the treasure game. There's only a heart piece from that.
That's vanilla.
Oh, is it? I wouldn't know because I never played vanilla.
Oh, you missed out then. It's almost that and the dig game are what break are what hurts with records and stuff like that with people who try to 100% the game, is those two, because they're just so hard to get.
Yeah, it's all because of RNG. And I wasn't even bored around the time when A Link to the Past was released, so just take that with what you will. We're gonna see the dig game from Technolink. And while we were talking about this stuff like dig game that's being all based on RNG, what the nice thing about the randomizer is that it will see the placement of the item from either 1 dig or 30 digs, and those digs really paid off because that was a bow.
Yes, nice. It looks like Technolink's going to save Jeremiah. And again, unfortunately, without the mirror, can't do any mirror checks along the way. So he's going to really miss out here. Although so far, he's not missing out on much. And there's a third sword on Stumpy, so we now know where all 3 out of the 4 swords are.
Again, keeping up with the trend of really nice sword locations, because we know of the one on the Eastern Palace Big Chest, we know of one on top of Spectacle Rock, and then we have one on Stumpy.
So even if they don't get any other swords, I'd say all the runners will be at least no one has to do Master Sword Silverless, which will make things nice.
Yeah, the Master Sword Silverless fight does take quite a long time, with a total of 52 spins to even knock down Ganon. And those 52 spins take forever. And I haven't timed it specifically, but I know it takes quite a while. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, it just, and you just have to be, and you almost have to get you don't have to, there's no have to with anything, but you should really know how to get that torch glitch, because having to remember to light both torches and do the spins just makes it one more harder thing for you to do. So we'll see how long Technolink avoids South Shore and that mirror. He's now going back into Thieves Town.
So we will get some new information from Shadow Man, because Technolink had died on the first 4 chests, and we are going to see now that from what we know is that from the attic it's just 20 rupees, but we will we will first of all get our second crystal. But we will also get information, like once this is all done, we might see I'm hoping to see some divergence, because currently at the moment we're seeing crossover from JP Noir.
Ooh, we have Blue Mail.
I wouldn't turn down Blue Mail. Like this is a really good item to have, like a really good protection item to have.
Yeah, especially it's still very early in the seed, not a ton of health. If you were like in GT, most people would probably have. I don't know if people would avoid it or not.
All right, we're gonna see a blind fight from Shadow Man.
And Gentleman having the smaller sword. The swords don't matter against blind. It's 9 hits regardless. And he's keeping him on script, which is really important as well.
Yeah, because if you do the same inputs every single time, it will be consistent all the way around. We get flippers. We have access to Swamp Palace now.
Yep. And I'm wondering if with the flippers, if that's where they will go.
That was on blind.
Yep. And we are seeing, let's see where Jed goes next. He's going to do all the locations here in the village.
JP Noir is actually doing Spike Cave. Is actually going to be burning a ferry here to get this item. Just 20 rupees. And as Chad pointing up something regarding the pedestal, we can only see from from those two options, we only have two options that we could find here. We can only find the flute or the Meyer medallion. Now, something to keep in mind as well is that if we have both medallion dungeons being one medallion, that medallion cannot be on pedestal.
Right, exactly. And yeah. So yeah, we're down to 2 items essentially now. And Technolink also does not have the boots either, so he's going bootsless for this same time too, because he hasn't done South Shore.
Yeah, and not to mention too, Technolink actually had to do the world tour by just without that mirror, so that means he's going to have to get the purple chest and save and quit. This takes quite a bit of time to do, and it's again another reason why the mirror is so nice for time saving.
Chrono Time making a good point. The purple chest would send him that way at least, so which is what he has. So hopefully he remembers to not save and quit here.
Technolink not happy with the purple chest and is going to head over to South Shore right now. It's going to go ahead and get the bug net and also our mirror. And we will also see Swamp Palace from Shadow Man. This is, again, more information.
You know what? And you were given the flippers. You have early access to Swamp. It's a crystal. You have to do it anyway. You might as well get it. It's pretty big item dense dungeon. I see no reason why to wait for it at this point.
Yeah, considering too that one of your other options is Pod. I would definitely be heading over to Swamp in this situation, just because of the fact that it's just one extra item over Pod, and this is along your routes because you got the flippers out of Thieves Town on Blind, so this routes really nicely. And it will continue to route nicely for Shadow Man once he is finished with Swamp Palace.
Yeah, exactly. And there's really, I mean, yes, you could go into Pod. I mean, especially you have the bow, but I mean, unless you really know your dark rooms, you're gonna have to come back anyway to finish it, depending on your dark room knowledge, I would say.
And Techno is continuing to have a bit of trouble here, continuing to hearing that the boots just was not happy with the boots location at all, and I would not blame him because of the fact that Techno had opted to leave out South Shore for quite a while at this point.
Looks like Jed's gonna full clear to left side Swamp.
And I know exactly what Shadow Man's gonna do now. He's setting up for a diver down, and there's 2 ways you can do this diver down. You can either do it on this side and left side Swamp, or as you're going into the back of Swamp Palace to fight Argus. What Shadow Man is doing is intentionally flooding the key, the key pod. And what he will do is he's going to clip himself into the railing by lighting himself up either with a bomb or the Can of Samaria, which Shadow Man only has the bombs here. But he does perform nicely, so... he misses it. So what's supposed to happen was he's supposed to, as he's going into that room, he's bombing the the bomb explosion stays on the screen. It stays there, like not in like by the game's logic. It's saying that the switch was hit by the bomb, but in actuality, since you moved out of the screen, that bomb explosion is still like gone, but it's still being hit. It's really hard to explain this way, but basically the switch is being hit while you're on the other screen. Meanwhile, Technolink found the lamp, and Idiom's going to pick that up right now. Technolink was attempting to do a hula setup where you would bomb yourself into a drop down, but did not get it. What he was trying to do is cause an error in Link's Y coordinates, and when the game recognizes there's an error in the Y coordinates, it places you in the Houlihan room, which gives you 225 rupees.
I see a lot of people doing that at the beginning, but usually at this point in the seed, most people have all the money that they need. So, I mean, doing it now is, I guess, okay, but I mean, I don't know who's going to go to, if they're going to do, when they'll do Zora once they've already done Catfish and those checks.
In Technolink's defense, he didn't have enough money to do the Zora check. So him attempting to do the Houlihan is justified in this case. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him, but it is justified.
I love these diver down checks because it just makes Swamp Palace so much faster. So far, other than the crystal, there hasn't been anything in Swamp worth mentioning, unfortunately. Ooh, we have a mushroom.
Yeah, and that mushroom was seen earlier when Technolink was going to do the a different water walk setup that I hadn't seen before, which he set up in Mini Moldorm Cave, excuse me, and then swam over and then dropped down, so that way he could make the trip over to Ice Rock Cave a lot quicker.
And now Technolink and it looks like Edium are both headed to Pod. They'll get their ice rods, go to the back, and they'll be able to full clear this.
So the troubling thing I see with this ice rod is that if we have to go and clear out Trinex, and if the green pennant held something, that would be a really rude thing about the progression of this seed, because that ice rod resulted in Pod being bow locked.
Well, the bow was easy to find, relatively speaking. Usually it's on the last place of Laser Bridge. Let's see where Jed goes now. Looks like he's going to do pyramid check first. And there's Silver's.
Silver's is nice. We don't have to worry about any Silver's fights now.
Yeah, now again, just going to be a piece of cake at this point. I mean, all 3 of the 4 swords are pretty easy to find and are on your way to something. And Silver's are in an easy place as well. So, relatively speaking, this should be an easy ending for these runners.
So Technolink is going to opt to grab the rupees here instead of doing the crystal here. We got the Cancer Maria out of the basement in pod.
Yeah, so you know, if key setup is right, Fire Ride could be on Laser Bridge. It would be evil, but it could do it. I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah, and at this point, we're only a flute away from Schrodinger's Go mode. I say this because we do not know what the Meyer medallion is, because we have not had access to it to Meyer yet.
Well, hopefully it's ether, and hopefully we don't need to worry about such horrible things of where the medallion is for it at this point. It's really nice to have the silvers. Just makes the enemies just like drop like water.
We are seeing more information came from JP Noir. We're going to see what the Zora has, and just, you know, your bog standard Zora, just 20 rupees, just completely just eating up all your 500 rupees. Just like, hey, here's this 20 rupees for your heart trouble. Now go away.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Technolink gonna be fighting Helmasaur King.
$17 hits to the helmet, and then just a silver shot to the crystal is enough to take down Helmasaur with this setup.
Yeah, 17 smacks to the face. All right, down goes Helmasaur King. Protecting Link's first crystal. Jed has 3 so far. He also does not have the lamp at this point.
So far, he's making do about the. Yeah, so far he's been making do without that that lamp, which goes to show how well done he's able to, how well he knows his dark rooms, and especially considering that lamp is not in a really nice spot. It's on King's Tomb. It's pretty out of the way.
Well, from what I've seen of the people who do their dark rooms, the hardest one is Meyer.
I just realized I said that we were gonna need we needed just a flute for Stringer skill mode. I completely forgot the fact that we also need the fire rod as well.
Yeah, we do need the fire rod for Skull Woods, so we need the fire rod and the flute and the Meyer, whatever the Meyer medallion is at this point.
Yeah, when you're go -2 this situation, you still have quite a number of things to do. Honestly, I think your best bet is probably going over to the Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, you have a lot of items up there, so it's not an unfair thing to check.
Looking to our chats as well, it looks like there's some talks about having the flute on the pedestal. It would be a pretty bad spot. And considering too that you would also need your fire rod, just because you still have to clear out Turtle Rock.
Right, exactly. So, and then like I said, it's almost as bad, and I've seen it just a handful of times where the fire rod is on Laser Bridge. It is just really obnoxious.
Laser Bridge is probably the most well known of the really stupid locations if you're playing no glitches. It's because you have to work your way all the way through Turtle Rock and to hope to find what you need. And considering, at least especially in this scene where you have to do it in Green Pendant Turtle Rock, I would not be heading to Turtle Rock in any situation, because it's a huge time commitment. You have to commit. If you feel you're entirely confident in your call to go into Turtle Rock, then go for it. I am not one of those cases where I cannot take any chance unless I am certain that either a last location or I am trying to go for a big play and say, okay, it's going to have to be in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just if you want to gamble or you hope to never find the Turtle Rock medallion, which is even better. Hopefully it's, I think somebody's homemade saying, if Bombos opens Turtle Rock, hopefully we don't find Bombos. Hopefully it's somewhere in GT.
Bombos on Lamolus could be right. If we get, well, no, we can still clear it, yeah, because we have our lamp.
So technically clears out Eastern, gets his first pendant, 2 crystals.
While Gentleman has his 4th.
Yep.
Answering a question in chat about where the hookshot was and ended up being in Paradox Cave.
I love using Cana Samaria. It makes the coffee room so much easier to do.
I prefer to use bombs, actually.
Do you?
Yeah, because if you use the bombs, if you just drop a bomb on facing from the top instead of up to the side, you get enough time to prevent the tiles from hitting you and causing all sorts of missing the coffee break room. That's how I tend to do it. And we welcome on in the 82 people from our Dutch speed gaming channel. You're watching the Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race. This is an open sea. We have Technolink, Edium, Gentleman, and JP Noir 1 for you to watch as well. And my name is Professor Renderer, and with me is Nitro 6003. Please give our runners a follow. They are doing a spectacular job doing this, doing what they do best. And of course, our tracking team as well. We have Saber UX and Mad Ewok Herd being our trackers. So please give us a follow, except for Saber U, because as he mentions in chat. So.
All right, let's see where our runners head to next. You know, I actually like what you had said about Dark Death Mountain, at least finding out what the medallion is for Turtle Rock. And hopefully, like I said, not finding it that you needed. But, you know, going into that area, not a bad idea. There's a lot of items up there with Hookshot Cave and with Super Bunny Cave.
And to answer another question in the chat, the miss ended up being in Skull Woods, as our tracker points out.
I'm willing to bet Edium is going to Dark Death Mountain after he clears this crystal here.
This is the right call. At this point, you have to go over to you have to do Dark Death Mountain. There is no other way. You have done pretty much everything here. Red Cane ended up being in the pod basement. Just to answer another question in the chat. Oh, looks like Edium never did East Death Mountain, so this also makes sense.
Which is actually even better, because then he has... This is an even better check for him, not doing any side of Death Mountain, to be quite honest with you. This really sets him up well.
Yeah, he can route it in. He can route in Dark Death Mountain right away.
Yeah, especially with that portal placement. Yep, absolutely.
And looks like technically found just arrows on the mushroom spot. It's going to save scum the mushroom to keep that ready for a fake powder.
I've done that so many times, where I hard reset after you're getting nothing at the mushroom, just so I don't have to find the powder.
Although having the powder is nice, just to powder bunny beams and anti-fairies as well. Something that I like. It's something that I would tend to do is if I have the mushroom, I'll attempt. If I have the mushroom pretty early on, I'll check it, and if it's nothing, I'll just wait for the cane. And then if I get the cane, I can possibly, if my route lines up right, I can totally go ahead and check out the magic bath. That's the word. Yep.
So let's see. Jed's going to the green pendant Turtle Rock.
So this.
Oh my goodness.
This hurts.
Yeah.
So you can only do one thing here. You can only get the left side. You can only get the left side. If you find a key, you gotta keep going. If you find another key, you can go all the way up to Laser Bridge. And you cannot do anything here because you got your big key.
Well, that's actually a blessing in disguise for him, to be quite honest with you, that it's fire rod locked, I should say. And hopefully they don't find the fire rod in Hookshot Cave, but we'll see.
Now, if it ends up being in if the fire rod ends up being in Hookshot Cave, then you're in quite a bit of trouble, because you have a green pendant clear in the form of Trinax. You have, including the green pendant, 6 items to go for.
It's not a bad thing. There's a lot of items. Oh, there's a flute! Oh my goodness.
Okay, so we're just a fire rod away from go mode.
And the Meyer medallion. And there's the fire rod! We were talking about it.
We're on short skill mode now.
Edium saving. So, well, is he gonna? I assume he's gonna. I assume he's not going into TR, is he? Oh, is he? Uh-oh.
Is he actually going to the Turtle Rock?
Oh, he is.
What
I
could he be
think. Nope.
missing?
Oh, no.
Oh,
He's
okay, never mind.
smarting it out.
Yeah. I guess the reason why is he's doing that just to check the medallion and then going ahead and then just going ahead and activating the flute just in case he has to go to Turtle Rock, which is fair because you're currently in Surge Against Go mode. If we find the Ether Medallion, if we find out the Ether Medallion is on Meyer, then then we're in Go mode, no full stop.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're gonna get our flute activation from Edium.
I'm so glad he did not go into Turtle Rock, to be quite honest with you. I was like worried. I'm like, uh-oh.
Now, again, I can see why Edium would head over to the Turtle Rock area is mostly because he may be wanting to check the medallion first before going into Turtle Rock if it ends up that Meyer is not Ether.
Well, yeah, if Meyer's not Ether, there's so many places you could check, though, before you go into Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
But Technolink is going to go into Turtle Rock, it looks like.
And we are in Go mode as well, because that was Ether.
Or he's just, I hope he's just, oh, it is Ether for Misery Meyer as well, so.
It's actually, well, it's pretty much going to be a race, save for the fact that Edium has yet to clear out Swamp.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Technolink can't get the, oh, wait, he does have the fire on. Does he have the hook shot?
Yeah, he did get the hook shot.
Oh, okay, because it wasn't on the tracker. I just wanted to make sure he had it.
Did he? I don't know if it's on the tracker or not.
Well, he couldn't have gotten the fire rod without the hook shot, right?
Right.
So.
Right, because it was on a it was hook shot locked.
Right. So I'm going to assume he has the hook shot.
We'll have to see on Technolink's menu if he does have it or not. And luckily for us, Jetto is going to do a Godmire. He's actually attempting to do the hover across the pond. Gets it.
Wow. That's impressive.
So he actually saves a lot of time doing this. By doing this, he actually saves, I believe, 3 screen transitions.
Yeah, exactly. That's impressive. I mean, that's just absolutely impressive. This is why, by the way, I don't race, because I have no idea how to do any of these things, and that's why I don't race. I play for fun.
Okay, he set it for Spooky, which is good. So what he did was he set a variable with the duck. By moving in a certain by moving down below where the big rock where the dark rock that you would take to Meyer, he set a variable which is called the arc variable, and by doing on the first Samaria block switch room in Meyer, Dark Meyer, by preserving it with a boots kick up dust and then pressing your Samaria block down, you retain the arc variable save, because by using the Samaria block, it completely gets rid of the arc variable. And by using the fire rod, its splash damage is tied to that arc variable. And with that, you're able to hit switches above you, where normally you would have to use a bomb or go up a bit on the screen to hit those crystal switches. Very technical glitch that is that I'm probably butchering it right now as we speak.
Well, you're speaking it better than I would, because I don't know how that glitch works, to be honest. But again, I'm not as known with the glitches as you are, my friend. You know your glitches a heck of a lot better than I do, which is totally cool. And I just am jealous.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually I misspoke there. It's actually the altitude variable, not the arc variable. As Super Malmo World is correcting me in the chat right there. Because the arc variable is different compared to the altitude variable. Alright, we're gonna see another trick here from Shadow Man. Again, this is about a year-old trick. This was found alongside Diver Down. This is the icebreaker clip, and this involves what we call door state extension, where by having the Somaria block you when while you're in a door, you can have it so that, as Gentleman demonstrates, as our 4th star by the way, you can pass through that big wall in the big key chest room.
As a kid, I hated Ice Palace, and even today, it's one of my most hated dungeons in the universe.
Yeah, but this is mostly given the fact that the solution to this puzzle is kind of weird in the Super Nintendo version. The Game Boy Advance version, luckily, thankfully, remade the room so it makes a little bit more sense. But with Icebreaker, this makes clearing this dungeon a lot more tolerable.
Right, I believe in the original NES, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe in the original NES game, you had to do 3 trips through Ice Palace to get it done correctly. From start to finish.
I believe it's through the main room where you'd fall down the pits, I believe. If that's what
exactly.
To.
But either way, it's almost like you're doing 3 full trips through almost the whole dungeon because of how without the bomb.
I think that's correct. But
I'm not gonna put my age on it, but I did play it as a kid.
Yeah, thankfully the Game Boy Advance version fixed that up to make the
exactly
a little bit more easier.
that was nice of them.
Okay, so it's a matter of clearing Skull Woods for Gentleman, which shouldn't be too much of a problem at all. It just go to the back to knock down Mothula, both over them, and then you're off to GT.
Yep, Mafia. And the good thing that I like what they did in the Link to the Past ROMs, which you're watching now, is that, see, the gold sword doesn't really do damage to Mothula just because of the way it works. So I'm kind of glad that they fixed that. So if you happen to have gold sword for Mothula, you can actually still kill him. Fire Rod was in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, this was alongside the flute, which we found out that Ether was required for Meyer alongside Turtle Rock. So, by pedestal logic, obviously we know it's dead. But if we found the flute a little bit later and we didn't know, and we had something like the medallion, like a Bombos medallion or something like that, then we would know that the pedestal would not have the Aether Medallion. Mafula is one of those weird fights where the game is made up in such a way where if you hit the spikes, it nullifies the hit that you take. So you have to pay. It's a lot of patience, and it's a lot of patience basically. You just wait for the Mafula to be somewhere in the middle of the screen for you to have your hit to count.
Well, since Jed now has gotten the 7th crystal, it is time for GT Big Key Guessing Game. So, in chat, get your numbers out.
Yeah, there is a total of 21 chests and a single torch that combine up to a total of 22 possible locations for the big key is held. We're not going to run our bot because this is a community race. But if you were watching this during the Link to the Past Randomizer League, which by the way, finals is coming up pretty soon, you definitely want to stick around for that. Or if you were watching the main tournament, then the guessing game would be fired off there from our relatively favorite botch Sahasrara bot, thanks to Sinek for coding that.
So where do you think it's going to be?
I'm going to run with 7 just because I'm just how I'm feeling right now.
Well, someone took 6, but I'm going to take 6 since it's my favorite number. So I'm going to go with Immortal with 6.
Okay. I know there's a couple other people that have also guessed 7 as well. So I may as well put my name in there, put my thing in there too. No, you're fine, Burns. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
That's why the bot gives you 5 bonus points if you weren't the first one to guess first. So 21 chests to a torch separates Shadow Man from getting the big key. Here we go. We're gonna start off on the right towards Hope Room. Going to do, it looks like Hope Room first, then towards the left side. Number 1 is a heart piece. Number 2 is a small key. He's gonna go full right, actually.
Not a bad choice. And he has such a big lead right now. This is his race to lose, essentially.
And do keep in mind too, this is only 4 runners that we're showing on the screen right now. There's quite a number of people behind the scenes who's also racing alongside him. Anyway, number 3 is 3 bombs. Number 4 is our container. Number 5 is the Book of Adura, and number 6 is our big key. So you got it.
Well, I wasn't first, but thank you. Yep. So we Sixers are the winners here. Anyone else who guessed 6, Immortal, I believe, as well. I don't know who else. It said, I think Burn Toast also got 6, possibly.
He said 7, but
well, Immortal, I wish we would win $1,000, but you know.
I would go with the typical unlimited spider rando seed scene, but that's pretty easy. Just internet points, straight up internet points. $1,000 from NES Jeopardy. I mean that's also true. 1,000 rupees collectible from Ganon from your next team. That's
that
also
would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, just Ganon being a little nicer to us.
And Jed is already into the gauntlet.
And yeah, this is what I mentioned earlier of Edium just getting his 7th and final crystal. The fact that Gentleman had already cleared out Swamp Palace by that point when he entered go mode. This is apparent. This is very much an apparent reasoning why if both Jitto and Edium had been in Swamp, they would be in a race at this point. It would have came down to JT routing.
Yep.
So when Gentleman actually here's something interesting. When Gentleman powders that bunny beam, the positioning of the Lambolas, excuse me, it actually gets changed. So you change the patterns because they actually come up like simultaneously, the first and second Lambolas, instead of just being one after the other. I'd still stand by the fact that I will say this until the day I die, that Wizrooms 1 and 2 is probably one of the more satisfying rooms in the entire game because of the fact that you can just kill them all with a Cancer Mario shot, followed up with another sword slash in the second room.
Oh, I agree.
Now, Gentleman will have to get a key from the mini Helmosaurus here because I believe he only has one. Yeah, he only has one key. So that means he's going to have to kill these to get enough to unlock the rest of the the doors here.
I'm assuming he's going to hover here and not kill Trolldorm. But let's see.
If Moldorm wants to play nice, of course.
Which he doesn't.
I know Gentleman had bounced off of Moldorm when he was trying to jump down. I believe. Okay, he's actually not committing to He's not committing to the hover just yet. Or is he gonna? Is he committing to the hover? Oh, he's gonna hook shot over. Fair enough. I don't see any. It's. Either way, you still have to go and kill Aga 2. So even hover or not, it's still a requirement. Moldorm is mostly there if you just to get the chest to spawn to hookshot over normally.
And Jet is on to his Aga 2 fight.
This one looks not like a bad of a pattern. I think that was a double though.
Yeah. I believe the two of them hit him at the same time. There's another double. Wow, I didn't think he had that. That was so. That 2-2-2.
Yep, that was another double. Yep, two doubles for a 3 cycle is really nice.
Yeah, that's. All right, on to face the big pig himself.
And all things considered, this scene actually ended up being really nice in the end.
Well, considering you didn't have to go into any of the pendant dungeons, really, I mean, it was laid out so nicely for the players. I mean, you're seeing Jet is again at an hour 12 minutes. No Turtle Rock.
The only thing you could have found like out of a pendant dungeon is another sword, which was ended up in the Easter Palace bait chest.
And that's why he has doesn't have 4 swords.
Though, if anything, the just having the gold sword here, having the gold sword for this fight makes the fight marginally easier. Like it doesn't make it only speeds up the fights very, very subtly. It's nice for those who can't consistently get a 1-1, but for those who do get who can get a 1-1 consistently, it only just marginally speeds up the fights.
All right, on to phase 4.
Silver is Ganon's true weakness, of course. This was added in version 31. Previous versions had it say that where the silver arrow's location was. almost a triple there, but that should do it. Yeah, that should do it.
Yep.
GG's in the chat for Gentleman.
Yeah, get your GGs in chat for Gentleman. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, this is a really good showing from Gentleman. He will be taking first on our restream. And he will do so with an official race time, that GG time of 1:13.49, finishing up in second place overall, just about 2 minutes behind Uriah with a time of 1:11.37.
That's impressive.
And this is out of a pool of nine entrants, and we've shown 4 of them here.
I don't even know where you could save 2 minutes, to be quite honest with you. But he did, which is really kind of awesome to see.
My hunch is execution.
Yeah.
And we're going to have Gentleman join in for an interview pretty soon. At the same time, Edium has taken down Moldorm 2 and is going to leave the last positions alone for now, so that doesn't have any time to waste. Gotta go. You're pretty close by, and also one thing too is also hi Gentleman, GG's.
GG, thanks.
All right, run us through what you thought about that seed.
That was a jet seed if you abandon pretty much every overworld check. There were only a couple
I
things
agree.
in the overworld. I skipped Smith Chain knowing full well this is probably going to bite me, but it wound up not, and I was very surprised. And then the only other thing I did that I could have skipped would have been the fish checks.
Yeah, the 2 fish checks did not yield up anything, so that ended up being a really nice spot for you as well. And I will say this: even considering that you skipped out on a lot of these big overworld checks that take up quite a bit of time, you still ended up with a really nice time. Again, just about roughly 2 minutes behind Uriah, so that is something impressive from your standpoint.
I'm very pleased with that result for sure. Yeah. I was super pleased finding that sword in Ice Palace 2 at the Vanilla Big Key spot.
Yeah, this was along your path too. So if you were gonna get that, if you're looking for a sword, it lined up really nicely along your path. So and that was our 4th sword that we knew of, because our one of our swords ended up being in the Eastern Palace big chest.
Okay. Yeah, that's another spot I just straight up ignored all the pendant dungeons except for Turtle Rock. I said, well, the first chest is really fast to get, and that's pretty much all I've got in Logic right now anyway, so I dipped it, and it wound up being the big key, so I said, well, that's the end of that. The only thing I was really worried about was I mirrored out of Hookshot Cave without checking the last chest. Because I got the flute and the fire rod. I was like, oh, that's go mode. And then I mirrored out, or I save and quit. I'm like, oh, wait, I might still need a medallion. So that 33 1/3% chance wound up paying off.
Yep, that does. It is one of those cases where Schrodinger's go mode can really get you a little nervous if you end up mirroring a little bit too quickly, like you mentioned. It would just be awful. By the way, Edium has finished second on our restream with an official race time, that GG time of 1:17.57. 3rd place overall, just behind you, Gentleman.
Nice. GG's Edium.
Yeah, GG's all around.
Yeah, this seed was, in general, really nice. Just like this really ended up being a really nice seed, and like for all the same reasons you mentioned. Also, hello, Eddie M. GG.
GG's, Eddie.
GG's, Eddie.
GG's. If we can, if your mic's lighting up, we can't hear you.
How about now?
You sound fine now.
GG's, gentlemen.
GG's.
All right, run us through what you think about that seed, Eddie M.
I don't know. It was pretty normal. Most of the stuff was kind of on the way. There were a couple things that, like, if you didn't go into Skullwoods early for those mitts, you might have taken quite a while to find them. But mainly the seed just kind of, I think, just rewarded whoever went up the mountain first. Because as soon as I got the flute and all the other stuff, and then went and checked my medallion, I was in go mode.
Yeah, Technolink ended up getting the mitts in Skullwoods before anyone else. But this was in a situation where Technolink had not gotten the mirror out of the sunken treasure in the dam, and had yet to go to South Shore at all in that seed.
That sounds like technical.
Yeah, sounds perfectly reasonable, but hey, everyone has their own play style.
Yeah, I don't know. Getting that sword out of Eastern was kind of nice, but it wasn't really required for anything. Did we ever find the fourth sword?
Your fourth sword. There was a sword on Stumpy. There was one on the Spec Rock. There was one in Eastern Palace, and then there was one in Ice Palace, in the Ice Palace big key chest.
Ah. Oh, okay. I walked right past that. I didn't really need it at that point, but would have been nice to have, I guess.
Yeah, and I said this before during the Ganon fight. It only makes the Ganon fight marginally faster. It makes the 1-1 more consistent.
It would have made my Cold Stare fight a lot faster. That was a really bad fight.
Yeah, Cold Stare really really hates Cold Stare really hates the Gold Sword. Anyways, we're now seeing Technolink going to start up the, or at least trying to get the torches lit up here. Did not light the torch because he still had the pot over his head, but now is going to do so. I think the powder ended up was actually on Swamp Palace to bring up what Matt Ewart Hurt said.
Alright, I'm gonna hop out. Thanks for commentary, and thanks to the trackers.
Alright, GG's to you as well. Okay, so now we're going to see what how Technolink is going to fare in this Smoldern 2 fight. And JP Noir is actually going to be playing a bit safe here. Going to grab the fairies from out of the safety room. And in case you were wondering what was on the last possessions, it was a heart piece. Technolink brought that up.
It's not a bad thing to get some fairies there just in case. You do not want to have to climb this tower again if you don't have to.
Yeah, it's a nice safety to have if you are well aware that you have a bug net and you are aware of your potions. We know that one of our bottles ended up being a empty bottle, so that does help in this decision.
Technolink gets Aga down.
JP is going to cut it a little close here with his health. Want to be a little cautious here, especially now. And he does have the fairy, so even if he takes a fall here, he will still be climbing it up. And also, he does have that fairy at the ready, or the powder at the ready, rather. Actually, okay, this is actually really good knowledge from JP. Since he knows that that room is actually part of a different super tile, he actually leaves through the door he came from, and then respawns the bunny beam and gets a full health bar.
Yeah, that is definitely good to know.
Meanwhile, Technolink is on phase 3 of the Ganon fight. We'll be starting phase 4 pretty soon. Teleports are pretty nice, though. Phase 4 is a go. Nice double to finish things out. GG's to Technolink.
Yeah.
So with that, Technolink will be finishing third on our restream with an official race.GG time of 1:25:30, finishing in 6th place overall. Just behind that is Coride in 4th place with a time of 1:20:42, and Furious Magic with 5th place with a time of 1:21:05. And here is Technolink GGCU.
Yeah, GG. Yeah, so the room name is pretty much what this was.
Yep. Yeah. It was it. In case you were wondering, for the folks at home, the room name for the racetime.gg is Splendid Jet Seed.
Yeah. The only thing that wasn't really jet here was the fact that I found boots like half an hour in instead of when I should have found them 10 minutes in.
Yeah, this was due to the fact that you ended up going to leave out the South Shore area until a little bit later on, but you were the first player to get the mitts.
Yeah, that was to be expected. I mean, if you do, if you do South Shore last, like I was considering doing South Shore as well, but well, first I did Kakariko, didn't have the bombs. Then was a bit annoyed that I didn't got the bombs in the bottom of Blind's hut. So as I didn't have bombs, it's faster to enter the well than it is to enter Blind's hut, I guess. Then I had my Dark World care package, Rule, Hammer, gloves. I mean, that just draws you to Dark World, and at that point I was like, yeah, if there's something in South Shore, I'm going to have a very bad time. Then didn't want to go into Thieves Town with just a hammer. Just decided to build. That was a good thing, because if I didn't, well, I wouldn't have found that point.
Yeah. That's fair.
So yeah, I did like it. I was looking at my splits, and while my GT climb was horrid, I still managed to eke out a good Aga 2 fight. That torch room 1. Oh, that was horrid.
Yeah, the Gauntlet is probably the most execution heavy in all of the game. Mostly considering the fact that it's also very RNG dependent, because there's a lot of enemies that will get in your way, or will not go the way you want it to, and you had to adjust on the fly just to with your execution. It is probably one of the most hardest fights to really get good at. The hardest like sequence of rooms to get good at.
It's also the reason I like to switch over to the fire rod just to crash through those rooms, especially with those skeletons that jump around. It's just a mess trying to just attack them with your sword. It's just better to just get rid of them. I was contemplating doing ether strats, which are also useful, but give back I have half magic. There was no point. So.
Yeah, and that's typically what I like to do. If I have half magic and I have the fire rod, I will definitely be using the fire rod all the way through. And what I like to consider lay waste, just lay waste to all the Stalfos.
Yeah, so I believe the perfect routing for the seed was get the boots early together with the Minor, then get the mids as well in Dark World afterwards. Then immediately head over to... Where did we get the lamp again? Wasn't that like King's Tomb or something?
King's Tomb, yes.
Yeah, then head straight up the mountain. Find Hookshot, find everything you need to. Let's go.
Yeah, Edium had mentioned something, had a good point too. It definitely, the seed rewarded players for going to the mountain a lot earlier.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. Because if you didn't run it, you might be actually drawn away from certain dungeons as a result, or drawn into certain dungeons. Like you might want to opt going into, say, well, if you sequence broke it, then you would be there. Yeah, he has a good point. If you sequence broke the mountain, you would be in very good shape, especially once you have Hammer Rebar.
GG's to JP Noir clutching out a really close Ganon fight with only half a heart remaining. And he's going to be finishing 4th on our restream with an official race time, that GG time of 1:30.22, finishing in 7th overall.
GG's.
I do have to say, it looks like the mountain is starting to reward going there early as soon as you have access to East Death Mountain.
Yes.
It's, from my experience, at least the last, I would say, 7-8 seats I've been running, in open or standard or any form, the mountain seems to be very item heavy lately, as in progression item heavy. But that might just be a feeling. They can be everywhere. Hey, JP.
JP Noir, GG's.
GG's JP, GG's Techno.
GG's.
Yeah.
GG's all around.
That was some seed.
Yeah, it was a really nice seed all the way through.
I'm still doubting whether or not I should have made the Eastern Palace dip, yes or no. But it felt like you're there. It's the only time you have the chance. But yeah.
If your mic's on, we can't hear you, JP.
Hello, can anyone hear me? Am I?
Yep.
Okay.
We can hear you now.
I didn't know if my mic was working.
Yep, you're working. You're clear now. GG's.
GG.
All right, run us through what you think about that seed. If you want to talk about the seed, of course.
It was a good seed. I wish that I had checked Skull Woods a lot sooner. Other than that, it was seed. I mean,
it was definitely a jet seed. To put it simply, Technolink was the first player to get the mitts out of Skull Woods, but ended up having to leave out the South Shore checks until about the half-hour mark. But again, it really, what I'll relay this what Edium had said. It definitely rewarded people for going up the mountain fairly early after you got your Dark World access and got your mitts.
oh yeah, that had All of Go Mode was up there.
Yeah, it included the hook shot. It included the hook shot. It included the flute, and it also included the fire rod. And it really worked out nicely at the end because even if we ended up being Starter's Go Mode, it ended up being that Meyer was required for both Turtle Rock and Meyer. Other than that, though, to relay the sword locations to you, there was the one in Eastern Palace Bay Chest, and there was the one on top of Spectacle Rock, then there was one on Stumpy, and then there was one in the Ice Palace Big Key Chest, the one you would do the Icebreaker in.
Oh.
No!
No! Oh, not that chest. I skipped it. I was already
skipped
Go Mode in
that
the Ice
chest.
Palace.
I skipped that chest!
Oh no! I skipped
no,
the chest
what will
in
we ever
Rando.
do?
How could I? I don't know how I'll defeat Ganon without butter. Oh wait, I already did.
To be fair, though, go ahead.
Who needs butter when you can just 1-1 with tempered, right?
Yeah, it only makes the Ganon fight with the gold sword marginally easier because you can get consistent 1-1s because it's only 6 hits on a gold sword on each on phase 1 and 2.
Yeah, but the advantage is the placement of him Ganon was really good because I was able to get a double spin in and then 2 hits before he actually transitioned. So that was the. Yeah, it was at that time he actually go mode, and then there happens to be a butter sword in the Icebreaker chest. Oh well.
Yeah. Okay, so we're about to wrap things up here. Any final thoughts for any of you who are actually in this interview right now?
I do not know.
Me neither.
I can't think of anything.
Okay,
I'm just curious.
that's fine.
Since for whatever reason, my computer won't load up comments on this race. Does anybody know what happened? Tabby Cat didn't finish.
Let's see.
I think when the race is finally finished, we'll be able to see the comments.
It is finished, I think. Didn't? Oh wait, no. Go to
Smirk.
Okay.
Yeah, go to Smirk. It still has to finish.
All right. Hey, but I am going to head off. Thank you for having us, and of course, thanks to the commentators and trackers for tracking and commentating.
And thank you to the restreamers as well.
Yeah.
Okay, GG's to every one of you, and that will do it for today's Link of the Past Randomizer daily race. Again, follow our runners. I cannot stress this enough. I implore you to go ahead and check them all out. Technolink, Idiom, Gentleman, and JP Noir 1 were your racers today. Excuse me. And of course, follow our crew as well. Saberyu X, Matt Ewokhard, and Nitro 6003. We all did a good job here. We had a really good time. Of course, you were listening to Professor Render as well as your other co-commentator. Give me a follow as well. And if Nitro, if you want to sign us up, go ahead and do that.
No, I think you did a great job. Enjoyed commentating with you as always, and looking forward to the next one with you, buddy.
Thank you very much. So, from everyone here within the Speed Gaming group, Speed Gaming family of networks, this is Professor Renner and Nitro XSP saying so long, and we'll see you in the next quest.